You're standing in a grocery store, staring at prices that look familiar but feel wrong, and that's when old-fashioned ways to beat inflation quietly enter your mind without you even realizing it. This is frugal living, not as a trend, but as a lifeline because something has changed and you can feel it. The cart isn't full, yet the total is higher. You didn't splurge. You didn't treat yourself. Still, your chest tightens. Inflation doesn't shout. It whispers. It slips into everyday moments until you start asking a question you never used to ask. How did normal life get so expensive? Here's the strange part. The world has more technology, more convenience, more options than ever. Yet you feel more cautious, more alert, almost uneasy. That quiet panic isn't weakness. It's awareness. And hidden inside it is a clue. What if the smartest way forward isn't new at all, but something older, slower, and surprisingly powerful? Why inflation feels personal now? Inflation doesn't arrive like a storm. It arrives like a leak. One drip at a time, it soaks into your life until you're budgeting emotions, not just money. Your income still shows up, but it doesn't stretch. Coffee costs more. Rent renewals come with uncomfortable emails. Subscriptions quietly renew at higher prices, even the ones you barely use. What makes inflation feel personal now is that it targets daily life, not luxury, not excess, just existing. Recent years reshaped the global economy. Supply chains cracked, housing tightened, convenience became expensive. Everything turned into a monthly fee. Even rest has a price tag. So you adapt without noticing. You hesitate before buying. You overthink small decisions. That tension you feel isn't poor planning. It's pressure. Inflation works best when it feels normal, but deep down, you know something is off. And when something feels off, it's usually time to look backward for answers. Here's the shift most people miss. Frugal living isn't about saying no to life. It's about saying no to pressure. For years, spending more was sold as progress. Faster upgrades, newer versions, limited time offers. But inflation exposed a quiet truth. The more automatic your spending is, the less control you actually have. Frugality, in its old-fashioned form, flips the balance of power. When you spend with intention, prices stop pushing you around. You stop reacting and start choosing. That alone changes how inflation affects you. This isn't about deprivation. It's about opting out of the endless upgrade cycle that benefits everyone except you. When your lifestyle needs less to function, every paycheck goes further without you earning more. That's real leverage. The surprising part? Life often feels richer this way. Fewer purchases mean fewer regrets. Slower decisions reduce stress. Frugality becomes a quiet confidence, the knowledge that even when prices rise, you are not fragile, you're adaptable, and adaptability is power. Old-fashioned idea 1, the repair mindset in a throwaway world. Something breaks and the modern reflex is instant replacement. A cracked phone screen, a loose chair leg, a jacket with a torn seam. We're trained to see damage as the end of usefulness. But the repair mindset tells a different story, and it's one inflation can't easily touch. In the past, repair wasn't a hobby. It was normal. Fixing things stretched money and built patience. Today, repair has quietly become a luxury skill, even though it costs less than replacing. When you repair instead of replace, you extend the life of your money without spending more of it. There's also a mental shift that happens. You stop seeing objects as disposable and start seeing them as investments. A repaired item feels personal. It carries history. It slows impulse buying because you know most things don't need to be perfect to be useful. In a throwaway world, repair is rebellion. It protects your budget, yes, but more importantly, it restores your sense of capability. And that feeling lasts longer than any new purchase. Number 2. Cooking as quiet financial rebellion. Cooking used to be routine. Now it feels optional, even inconvenient. But in a high-price world, cooking is one of the most effective ways you take back control. Not fancy meals. Not perfection. Just predictable food. Food prices rise quietly through smaller portions, added fees, and delivery costs that don't show up until checkout. Cooking at home removes those surprises. When you rely on simple, repeatable meals, inflation loses one of its favorite tricks, unpredictability. This isn't about cutting joy. It's about creating rhythm. When you know what you'll eat most days, your budget stops guessing. You shop with purpose. Waste drops. Stress follows. Old-fashioned households didn't chase variety every night. They built meals around staples and seasons. That approach feels radical now, yet it works better than ever. Cooking becomes a form of calm resistance. You're no longer paying extra for speed, convenience, or impulse. You're paying once, planning ahead, and eating with confidence. That quiet control adds up faster than you expect. 3. Buying less, but buying better. Inflation thrives on cheap replacements. Low prices feel safe until you're buying the same item again and again. Old-fashioned thinking flips that pattern by focusing on durability instead of deals. Buying less but buying better means choosing items that last through time, not trends. One solid pair of shoes outlives several bargain pairs. One reliable tool replaces a drawer full of broken ones. Over time, the math becomes obvious. But the real benefit isn't just financial. When you own fewer things, you think more clearly about what enters your life. Every purchase becomes intentional. Regret fades. Storage shrinks. Maintenance becomes easier. Earlier generations understood this instinctively. They bought with care because replacement wasn't guaranteed. Today, that mindset protects you from constant price hikes. You stop feeding the cycle that inflation depends on. Less clutter, fewer decisions, stronger value. Buying better isn't about spending more. It's about spending once and trusting that choice long enough for it to pay you back. At some point, something shifts. You notice it on an ordinary day. The bills still exist, prices are still high, but the tight feeling in your chest is quieter. You're no longer bracing for every purchase. That's when the realization lands. Inflation didn't shrink. You changed your relationship with it. Your life now costs less to operate, not because you're doing without, but because you're doing things differently. You feel steadier, more deliberate, less rushed. When spending slows down, thinking clears up, and with clarity comes confidence. This is the part no one talks about. Frugal living doesn't just protect your money. It protects your nervous system. You stop chasing the feeling of being caught up. Instead, you start feeling grounded. That calm isn't accidental. It's the result of choices stacking quietly in your favor. 4. Community over convenience. Modern life is designed for independence, but independence is expensive. Every problem has a paid solution because we're expected to solve everything alone. Old-fashioned living worked differently. People shared, without calling it a strategy. Tools were borrowed. Skills were exchanged. Help moved both ways. That reduced costs in ways money couldn't measure. Today, convenience replaces connection, and inflation profits from that gap. Choosing community over convenience doesn't mean giving up privacy or progress. It means recognizing that not everything needs to be purchased. When you share resources, you lower expenses without lowering your standard of living. A borrowed ladder costs nothing. A shared meal stretches further. Advice saves mistakes. Community absorbs shocks that money can't. In uncertain times, this becomes priceless. The old way wasn't about doing more together, it was about not paying twice for things that already existed. These old-fashioned ideas matter now because the ground keeps shifting. Jobs feel less permanent. Prices adjust faster than paychecks. Fixed costs rise whether you're ready or not. In this kind of environment, strategies that depend on stability break first. Frugal living works because it doesn't need perfect conditions. It thrives in uncertainty. When your habits are flexible, inflation has less leverage over you. You're not locked into high monthly commitments or constant upgrades. What once looked outdated now looks resilient. These approaches reduce dependence on fragile systems and restore balance at a personal level. Right now, the smartest financial move isn't predicting the economy. It's building a life that can bend without breaking. And that's exactly what old-fashioned frugality was designed to do. Remember, inflation feeds on speed. Fast spending. The faster money moves through your hands, the easier it is to lose control of it. Old-fashioned frugality slows everything down. When spending slows, awareness grows. You notice patterns. You catch leaks early. You choose on purpose instead of reacting. The real secret isn't cutting costs. It's reducing urgency. A slower financial life gives you the space to make better choices, even in a high-price world. Inflation becomes something you manage, not something that manages you. That shift changes everything. Not overnight, but steadily. And steady is exactly how you win. Frugal living isn't about having less. It's about needing less and trusting yourself more. When you choose intention over impulse, inflation loses its grip. Life feels lighter,
Calmer.
more yours. And in a world that keeps getting louder and more expensive, that quiet confidence might be the richest thing you own.